Welcome to Celebrate Arkansas podcast. I'm Jocelyn Murphy, the managing editor of Celebrate Arkansas. I'm with our creative director, Justin Froning, today, and we're so excited to be talking with really some of our favorite people.
Yeah, that's true. Don't tell the other folks.
Don't tell anyone. We are talking today with Ashely Skaggs from the Boys and Girls Club of Benton County and Kaleigh Spoon, Boys and Girls Club of Benton County's Youth of the Year winners. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having us. We're so pumped about this.
We're excited to have you. And Kaleigh, not just Youth of the Year winner 2024, but also 2023. Yes. So you're back to back. So if anyone was going to talk about the Youth of the Year experience and how that works with Celebrate Arkansas, you're the expert.
I am. And why we say we love working with you guys so much. This is a partnership that Celebrate Arkansas has had with Boys and Girls Club of Benton County for a really long time, where we get to celebrate the Youth of the Year winner. And Ashely, can you tell us a little bit about what the Youth of the Year program is, why you work with us to celebrate that winner every year, and then we'll get into Kaleigh's very exciting accomplishments, because we're so excited to share more about Kaleigh's journey.
Yeah, and some big news that she just accomplished recently. But no, the Youth of the Year program is Boys and Girls Club of America's program that we, reiterate with our club. It's ages 14 to 18. They have to go through a very rigorous process. So they have to do a resume, cover letter, 3 essays, and then they have to do letters of recommendation. And they also have to do a 15-minute interview in front of a panel of judges, starting at the local level. So we partner with other organizations, businesses that we would like to let them hear more about the Boys and Girls Club and the impact it makes on youth like Kaleigh and others. So they come in, they read over their packet, their essays, and then they ask them questions for 15 minutes based off of Boys and Girls Club, their story, their platform, and then the local winner will advance to the Arkansas State Youth of the Year, where it's the same process. The only thing we add in that process is they have to give a 3-minute speech that encompasses everything that the application packet and their essays through that process. And so they have to do that same process again with the interviews and then a speech for 3 minutes. And then after that process, whoever wins Arkansas will move to Southwest Region, and then Southwest Region moves on to Nationals. Mm-hmm. And so we're just really proud of all of our youth that attend that and go through that process. Every youth participant receives scholarship money. So anyone that applies for 14 to 18, that's been a club member that does that. If they are just going through the process, they get a $500 scholarship. If they are a finalist, they get $2,500, and then if they win, they get $5,000. And then at the state level, it just kind of depends on what the Arkansas Alliance can give out at that moment. So
it's fantastic.
Yeah. And this is an annual program.
Yes.
That the kids at the club can apply. Mm-hmm. So that's what Justin was saying. Kaleigh won last year at the local level, then you won again this year at the local level, then you won at the state level, and then what happened recently, Kaleigh?
So I just came back from Dallas and I took home the title of Southwest Regional Youth of the Year.
Amazing.
It's so exciting. And we had no doubt.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not one doubt at all.
That's so fantastic. We've had the privilege of working with you 2 years in a row now, and that's a treat. As someone who has often taken the photos for our cover shoots and things like that, I love getting to interact with the people that we're working with each month. It's a fun way to get to know someone. Most people aren't comfortable in front of a camera, so you kind of get to break down some of those walls, and we all get to be vulnerable with each other. And we got to do that with you 2 years in a row. So it was really fun. This second time, it was like seeing an old friend. Mm-hmm. And when we heard that you won, it just makes it that much more exciting, because we already have that relationship. Yes. We're like, I was rooting for you. I knew that you could do it. Mm-hmm. So as soon as we found out that you were in the running, we're like, well, she's probably going to win it. So then it was just preparing, okay, how we do the cover different this time, because I know it's going to be Kaleigh again. But that's such a treat, and it was a blast to get to feature you with Ashely, because Ashely, we go way back. We've worked with you for so long at the club, and you've worked with so many Youth of the Year participants throughout the years. I mean, explain a little bit about your process with that program.
Yeah, so I'm just there to be a cheerleader and advocate for them, help them prepare for interviews, help them prepare for their speech. Going into this process probably 9 or 10 years ago for Youth of the Year that I've been doing, I didn't know how to write a speech or how to help with speech or public speaking. And so that was a learning curve with myself in general. So I looked up YouTube videos, researched, talked to other people, and kind of just helped what I learned and helped with them through that process as well. But really just, I think the biggest thing I can say is a cheerleader, letting them know that I believe in them and then I want them to believe in themselves. But it's not really about the money and winning. It's about the opportunity to showcase what they've learned at the Boys and Girls Club, but also helping them with those skills and become confident in going into an interview and confident in giving a speech in front of 500 people. I mean, I don't even think I could do that at that level. So really my part on that is just being a guide, a mentor in that aspect, celebrating their wins, being there for when they have those losses and those moments of challenges and adversity that they're going through. But it's really just rewarding. And I'm just very fortunate that I have the opportunity to be a part of their life, and not just through this process, but most of the time after they graduate high school. Being and listening to them when they're in college. They oftentimes move off, but they'll come back and we'll grab coffee or lunch or just connect. And so it's a genuine relationship as far as a mentor and mentee goes. And so I'm just forever grateful for that opportunity.
That's awesome. Well, and interacting with you guys for the photo shoot, it was like working with sisters. It felt like you're like a big sister, the way you guys, dig at each other and have a lot of fun. That really helps the process. But Kaleigh, what's that like for you with, you've worked with Ashely for multiple years now, and it's clearly a relationship that goes beyond just, the person that works at the club.
It's honestly quite amazing because I kind of grew up with, as a person who loved a small circle and was just, kind of shy in a way. And she definitely taught me how to get out of that and, interact with people like you who want to, put us in the spotlight a little bit. And like you said, it's like sisters a lot. She always denies it, but I'm always people are going to think you're my mom. People are going to think we're, related. And I'm always right. We have that bond and that trust with each other. And I just know no matter what, she's going to be my supporter. If I'm down, she's going to pick me back up. And so it's just amazing to know that I have, a safety net.
I love that.
Ashely, you touched on, you said, I don't even know if I'd be able to get up in front of 500, or you said 500 people and give a speech. Kaleigh, part of the process is talking about your personal story and your background, but part of the process is also speaking about your accomplishments and really talking your own self up, kind of like you would in a job interview. And regardless of your age, I know that's hard for a lot of people, going into specifically a situation like a job interview, psyching yourself up to be I'm awesome. I have to tell them why I'm awesome. That's hard for anyone at any age, much less a teenager. And I know it would have been for me. So can you talk about a little bit about what inspired you or prompted you to want to be involved in this process, and then getting into it, maybe some of the hurdles that you had or some of the things that you were like, that's easy. I can tell everyone how awesome I am.
I think definitely working at the club was a big push for me to want to advocate for the kids. Obviously growing up the way I did and not the best home, I knew that I wanted to make a change, but then whenever you are just immersed in the Boys and Girls Club and working with the youth and seeing how all these different children have very different lives, but you can still connect in some type of way, either through the club or through past experiences. And you know that just having a job, minimum wage, and you're still making such a big difference because you're that person that they go to, like made such a big impact on me. So I was like, okay, I would love to do this on a bigger scale. And I'm not gonna lie, at first I questioned myself all the time. I would always tell Ashely, like, I don't want to do this if you don't think I can win, because I know how I am and I know how I'm competitive and I know how I am hard on myself. And she was like, girl, you've got it. You know? So that was definitely one thing. I will admit that bragging on myself 90% of the time is like really hard. Even whenever we just came back from the Capitol, they'd always be like, oh, she's very humble. She won't mention it, but she just won Southwest. But it's just like, I don't want people to see me as, oh, she's a Southwest winner. I want people to see me as someone who radiates change, radiates, you know, a future successful woman, radiates happiness. So it's just like, I think that's why it's hard, just because I don't want to be like, hi, I'm Kaleigh Spoon, I'm the Southwest Regional winner, instead of, hi, I'm Kaleigh Spoon and I like these things. So that's probably one of the biggest things. But at first, speaking on the 500 audience, you know, that was hard, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it now. And I like the cameras and photo shoots and stuff like that. It almost makes me feel like a little princess or something.
That's awesome.
I like grew up wanting to be like an actress, so I think that's why I'm just like, oh, more, you know? But yeah.
That's fun. Well, and you have become such a great advocate for the club, and I liked one of the things you said in the story was that you're able to have a voice for so many of these kids that don't. And I thought that's a really beautiful way to put that. You know, one of the things I've loved about the club in general and club kids is I feel like people that have their lives impacted by the Boys and Girls Club go on to want to impact other people's lives. And that's a really cool thing, and I think it's a really great testament to the Boys and Girls Club in Benton County. You know, that's the one I've experienced. I'm sure a lot of them are fantastic, but there's a lot of change agents there. There's a lot of people that are really trying to impact the culture of the community, and I feel like it's paid forward quite often. And we see that even, you know, like a lot of the celebrities that were club kids and give back and do cool things. But, you know, most of the club kids I've seen that I've become familiar with, usually the youth of the year are the ones that I know best. They keep coming back. They come back to the gala, you know, and see how, you know, the next youth of the years are doing. And that's really cool to see. So I don't know, I'm always blown away by the people that have come through the program. You know, I worked at the club like 20 years ago, I guess. And it was wild to me the first couple of years that I was working at Celebrate Arkansas and doing the Youth of the Year feature. And the Youth of the Year was, you know, a kid I had that was 5 years old at the Rogers unit. And I was like, this is crazy. You know, it's so exciting to see them grow up and become these amazing young men and women. But, you know, they definitely, the ones that I've seen have gone on to do really cool things too. I know Fern's like working at in Washington.
NCA.
It was in New York, but she's going to UCLA because she corrected me the other day. That's what we're here for. To get her, I can't remember what it was, like PhD or something in she's going to political.
That's amazing. So, yeah, and she, you know, she was popping in because she was coming back for the Bentonville half, and and came to the Youth of the Year, and it's always so fun to see you guys come back and keep doing cool things. I don't know, I could gush all day about what the Boys and Girls Club means to me, and you know, seeing what the kids grow up to do. But it's fantastic to get to be a part of it in some small way. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate your passion behind it as well.
Of course.
I think the biggest thing is like a lot of people I think they think we're a daycare, but it's more than that. It's teaching them life skills that they can use outside of school. A lot of our youth don't want to go to college, and that's perfectly fine. So how can we navigate helping them build those skills to get ready for, you know, their career or future? And so it's just a big opportunity to be able to share. We're more than just watching your kids. We're investing in them, their future. We're helping them learn that they have a voice that they can use, and there's no need for them to stay quiet about it. So if they're passionate about something or interested in something, share that and let's get that out there. So that's one of the things that just makes this job so enjoyable, as well as creating those opportunities that they can that they may not learn at home or have the opportunity to, and then also what they don't teach in school. things like taxes. Yeah, some kids are like, I don't know how to do that. Like, let's talk about it. And so things that they can learn there at the club. So.
Can you all speak to, I know there's a lot of programs at the club. Like you said, it's not a daycare, it's a youth development, and there's a lot of passionate people behind trying to help kids succeed. Can you talk about like Smart Moves and Keystone and Torch Club and some of those programs that are really morality and humanitarian development, minded?
Do you want to speak for your perspective first?
Yes. Okay, Keystone and Torch Club I was the most immersed in. They're mostly just community service and character building clubs. So I would say Torch Club's more on the what did I just say? Community service side, just because it's 10 through 13-year-olds. So like, yes, it's in the midst of character building, but also we're teaching them these skills, like go out and so Torch Club, right? Like I said, it's a lot of community service. So like teaching them, you can go out and volunteer at an animal shelter or go out and volunteer at your local food pantry or something like that, and getting them excited for it. So that way, whenever they're my age, they want to take it to Keystone. And hey, I did all this as a 13-year-old. I know 17 and 18-year-olds can do it too. And now we have an older, bigger team who can drive themselves, who can provide more things, who have more connections, and we can just continue building on more than just Boys and Girls Club, where like we can build with Celebrate Arkansas. Maybe we can connect, and whether it's magazines or podcasts, or we both want to go out and do a community service project. And like I said, the character building part, it's definitely teaching a lot of integrity and teaching a lot of self-confidence, I would say, whether it's confidence in your ideas or just confidence to go out and shake someone's hand and say, I want to partner with you to help the community. I don't think I would be able to talk the way I do, like I said, as confidently, my vocabulary, without being president of Keystone for as long as I was, just because you have to talk to big groups and you have to lead teens who might not want to be led. So you definitely have to learn to use your voice in obviously respectful manner, but so it's heard. So yeah, that's my take on it.
I love it.
I mean, I don't think I can say any better than that. So I can focus on a couple more programs that we facilitate. Smart Moves, that's kind of teaching kids how to say no, bullying, peer pressure, saying no to drugs, alcohol, how to be a good friend in the community, how to give back. And they not necessarily do community service, but just kind of teaching them the importance of being a good friend, a good steward, is what Smart Moves is about. Smart Girls is teaching young women to be confident in themselves. We really talk about self-esteem. Women and young females tend to compare themselves to others. They see these other women in online, social media, and we kind of show them the behind the scenes of like, okay, well, they put on a lot of makeup or whatever it is. They're not usually portraying their natural beauty and their natural self. So teaching them the importance of building self-esteem and confidence with that. And then we have Passport to Manhood, which is teaching them the manly things that I don't really know about, but I can share a few things. Like how to tie a tie, how to change a tire if you have a flat tire, how to grill. I mean, I love grilling myself, so I can teach that one. Right. But so just kind of teaching them those things again that they may not be able, have the chance to at home and at school. So, so those are a couple additive programs that we do. But another thing I want to highlight with Kaleigh, when she was a staff, what she worked with on like social emotional. So if you kind of want to express some of the things that you've done through that process too.
So it was definitely after, I mean, I knew I wanted to do it before Youth of the Year, but it was definitely after that kind of like lit the fire under my butt, which like you said, social and emotional. So like I would have my group of kids and I would make it a point, like we are going to talk about how to communicate your emotions in a healthy way, how to dictate if you're sad or mad or angry or just frustrated, how to communicate frustrations with someone who's older than you or someone who's above you without coming off, whether it's disrespectful or being anxious about it, how to build healthy environments with the people, like I said, whether it's your sister, your mom, your boss, your coworker, whatever it may be, how to, like I said, create those healthy environments so you can communicate in a healthy way, the way that you should. And so even with like the 6 and 7-year-olds, obviously it wouldn't be on the same level as like the 10 and 12-year-olds, but I would just teach them like, okay, if I did something wrong, come to me so I can fix it so we're all happy. Or if the group did something wrong, I'm not going to yell at them. I'm going to sit them down and explain what was wrong and how we can fix it together. And then with the older group, obviously we have a lot of preteen boys who are just raging and just, want to go do crazy things. And so just explaining to them, like, yeah, you can have fun, but be safe. Or, yeah, I know that you want to say these things, but think about how it's going to affect the person that you're saying it to. And even with the girls, like you said, like, a lot of younger kids have phones now and have social media. I wasn't allowed a phone until I was 13 because of that reason, but there are a lot of 10-year-olds who are extremely insecure, especially girls, because of what they see online. And so teaching them, like, Miss Kaleigh is going to come like this every day, and I'm still beautiful. You can come to the Boys and Girls Club however you want. You are still beautiful because that is how you are made, and you are beautiful inside and out. And, just teaching them, like, be confident and communicate healthy, and you're going to have a healthy lifestyle and healthy relationships if you can learn to do that. So just, like, setting them up for success.
Yeah.
Well, and Kaleigh, something that you talked about a lot last year when you won at the local level the first time, and then this year when we spoke to you again, for those stories always are in our April issue. That's our Boys and Girls Club issue. Something that you talked about both times a lot was what the club has meant for you as far as, like, belonging and feeling like you had situations at home or at school that maybe were weighing on you emotionally in different ways, and what the club meant to you as a place where you came and you felt like you belonged, and the relationships that you were forming there. So can you guys both speak to that a little bit as far as, like, we've been talking about these development programs and how important those skills are that it's teaching, and it's more than a daycare, but can you talk about that side of the club as well?
Yes. So like you said, it definitely gave me a place of belonging, especially, like, in the younger years where, like you said, there is a lot going on, and a 10-year-old shouldn't be suffering from depression or suicidal thoughts or something like that. So getting to go to the club was like a breath of fresh air. And I will always appreciate it for that. And just getting to build these relationships with these staffs and other kids was also amazing. But I think even now, where, like, I just graduated high school and I'm no longer living in the area, and things are just constantly changing because I'm having to learn to be an adult, and it's not the same as being a 17-year-old who can just go home and, do whatever. Like, I have responsibilities now. So especially through YOI, like, getting these connections, whether it's with past YOIs or with Ashely or with people like you, like, I know I'm comfortable. I can hug you whenever I see you because you are excited to see me and I'm excited to see you. And I know that you guys are supporting me, and you guys know I'm excited to support you. So it's just like, even past the Boys and Girls Club, through Boys and Girls Club connections, I have connections. And I know, like, 90% of the time, no matter where I go, I'm going to be supported some way, somehow. So it's just been absolutely amazing with that. And just, I get to navigate adulthood with a team behind me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No, I would just say, to kind of piggyback off that, is kids can just be kids. So when they walk through the blue doors of Boys and Girls Club, our hope is for them to just come in and be a kid, not worry about what's going on at home, not worry about what's going on home, like at school as well. Just come in, have fun, be kids, express your emotions as well, though, so we can talk through those and navigate through those conversations. And, if a kid's having a bad day, or you come and they're not having a smile on their face, just simply asking them open-ended questions and getting to the root of it. And then asking them, well, what do you want to do today? How can we turn that frown upside down, right? I know it sounds really corny, but at the end of the day, it really is just a place we want them to feel safe, to feel comfortable, to be confident in who they are as individuals, to express themselves in however ways they can or are able to, and also to provide meals for them. That's huge for us. We know a lot of the times kids may go home and they may not have a meal that night, and their next meal might not be until breakfast the next day. So, feeding their bellies, teaching them things, kind of doing like a silence guidance in a way. And what I mean by that is we do educational activities, but we make them so fun they don't realize that they're learning something until at the end. And so just having that fun, safe space for them as well. So.
Well, I mean, and you do have, I like that there's kind of a cycle through these different areas. You go to the gym for a little bit, you go to the games room, and, you're playing foosball with your friends or doing whatever else it might be. And then, I know they've got places where they can come and do their homework and have help with that. And those things are huge. They get access to technology with a computer center. There's books. They can read all kinds of books. And then they've got, the art room, and you can go and express yourself in creative ways that they might not have access to at home as well. And I think all those things are really, it's so intentional. You're making it where people are becoming well-rounded young adults over time, but you're doing it in a fun way. So people, they're not aware of it. They're not aware that they left school and now they're going to learn some more, but they're doing it in such a fun way that, it's a brilliant model. Mm-hmm. And that was, for me when I first worked there, that was what was, I thought was like similar kind of thing. Like, this is a after school care, you come and watch the kids for a while until the parents come pick them up. And it really is like that youth development. This is a time where you get to really pour into someone. And as of someone that worked there, and you probably, I'm sure you've experienced the same thing because you've been there way longer than I was, but I had a really hard time not taking stuff home, because you deal with a lot of people that just have really great situations and it's just wonderful kids, and then you deal with wonderful kids that are turning into less wonderful kids because they have just terrible situations that they're going through, and trying to breathe some life and hope into that situation can be challenging. Mm-hmm. But it's such a beautiful thing to see. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you've been there as long as you have, my hat's off to you, to that passion for helping kids and seeing them become great young adults is a beautiful thing.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Just recently I was at our Rogers Club and we had a kid come in, and the kid did not want to be there. And I was like, I don't want to be here. I want to go home, and just kind of upset. And new environment. So some of our summer kids don't come in the school year. And some of our summer kids, this is their first summer coming. And so they probably feeling all the anxious nerves that Kaleigh probably felt when she was younger. And but the beautiful thing about that, at the end of the day, their parent came to pick them up and they did not want to leave. Mm-hmm. They were having so much fun. They made friends. They were excited to share what they did. Like, I did this art project today. I'm taking it home with me. So I think that's just like something that you see just right there, the impact. That kid walking through the door did not want to be there, but that kid at the end of the day wanted to stay longer and did not want to leave. So so we know at that point we're making an impact every day, but you see it firsthand. Sometimes you don't every day, but you go home and reflect. I go home and reflect on what can I do tomorrow that's going to be different, or how can I approach something? I'm always thinking. I try not to take the work home, but as you said, certain situations definitely make you dig a little deeper and think about how can I meet this person where they're at, and then go above and beyond that as well.
Yeah.
So.
And how long have you been with the Boys and Girls Club?
I'm going on my 16th year.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. And I forgot to say at the beginning, you're the director of programs.
Yes.
And what does that mean? Can you tell us a little about?
Yeah. So I have program managers and some team directors implementing just programs that kind of what we discussed earlier, giving our youth opportunities they may not get. So if that's taking them to a college tour and learning about college tour, applying for FAFSA, it can be, just those life skills. We created a culinary program through
awesome.
Brightwater. And so I have an intern, Chef Jess. And so she comes in and she's taught them how to make eggs, pies. I mean, just elaborate meals and from scratch. And so, they wouldn't have the opportunity otherwise, I don't believe, but just creating those opportunities, those partnerships. So partnerships with y'all, other organizations, our board members, and just really just trying to find, as I said earlier, kind of meet the needs of them and what they're interested in. So if they're interested and passionate about something or an area, how do we get them more exposed and more involved and get them on that path? So my job is really just overseeing the program managers and creating opportunities of fun, education, all the things that go with it, and more programs to expose, more skills and networking. So
That's awesome.
Oh. And I want to come back to YOY. Kaleigh, can you tell us a little about the regional competition? What was the atmosphere? What was it like interacting with other winners from around the region? Because I have to imagine this is a room full of really inspiring kids who are, sorry, maybe you don't want to be called a kid anymore because you're 18 now, but really inspiring young people who are really motivated to, as you said at the beginning, make change. Either make change at their club for the kids that are coming up behind them, or make change in their community, or make change in their own life. So I have to imagine it's a pretty cool atmosphere to be interacting with other people, maybe similar to your own level like that.
It was actually so amazing. I loved every minute of it. I was honestly kind of sad to go home because I did make a friend. Her name's Aaliyah. Shout out Aaliyah. And I'm actually going to go see her this August just because it was like we met and we clicked, and it was just absolutely amazing. It was probably the best competition I've been to the past 2 years just because everyone was so uplifting and everyone wanted to see the other one succeed. So even whenever, they called the 2 finalists, we just looked at each other and we're like, I'm proud of you no matter what.
Yeah,
I'm
awesome. Happy
for you no matter what. And like another example of that would be whenever you have the gala, the 2 finalists from military and traditional will say their speeches. I ended up being right after the winner. You don't find out till after, but we were backstage and we were preparing to go do our speech, and obviously we didn't know yet, so we're just nervous about who won. Am I gonna mess up? There's all these people looking at me, just all these different things, and we're like, let's just pray. And so we sat in a circle and we prayed, and it was probably just one of the most beautiful moments of my life because it's like she's from military, I'm from traditional, we're sharing these nerves, but like we're praying for each other and we're reaching out, and it was just like you could feel the love, and you could feel how no matter what, whether it's I didn't even make it to regional and whatever it may be, I'm still gonna have their support, and we're still gonna find a way to connect and make a change. So that part was really cool. Also getting to explore Dallas was really cool. And obviously winning and, taking the pictures and everything was awesome too, even though I almost dropped the trophy twice.
I mean, to be fair, that thing is like 10 pounds. Hands were really sweaty from winning.
Yeah, but it was just amazing. It was just so great.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel like are some of the things this has been a really long 2-year thing for you now, but throughout the whole Youth of the Year, all of your involvement in it, what are some of the things you feel like you've learned about yourself that you're going to take moving forward or have more confidence in, or maybe didn't want something and now you've gone through this process and you recognize, actually, I want this, and I didn't know that was a path for me before. What are some of the things you've learned through the whole process?
So one thing I will say I didn't expect was to get so close with her, and also with
Ashely.
Yes, and with the Holden, the 2022 YOY. That was definitely not something I expected. She had us meet I think I asked actually, because like I said, I'm really competitive. I had just won local, and I was like, he won state, I want to hear his advice, whatever. And I thought it was just going to be one meeting. Well, we ended up becoming really good friends, and we still talk to this day. We were actually just with each other this morning for the Taco Bell Foundation, the scholarship thing. But it's like we couldn't see each other for 2 months, and we click, and it's like no time has passed. Awesome. So that was definitely something I didn't expect. Something that Youth of the Year definitely taught me is how much I crave success. Going in as a junior, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be successful, but I didn't really have the fire to go for it like I do now. And it's probably just, kind of being put in front of a whole bunch of people and go shake their hand and make friends. Go shake their hand with this 40-year-old guy who could, honestly give you a lot of help in your future career. As a 16-year-old going into that, a junior, very first starting, it's like, I don't know if I want to do that. I'm a little scared. But now it's like, okay, yeah, I'm 18. I want to be successful by the time I'm 25. I want to shake the hands of people who could really help my future career pop off. And so it's like now every day I'm looking for new ways, whether it's to make money or help the club, or whether it's start schooling for something, whether it's get licensed for something, just whatever it may be. I'm always looking for ways to grow my career. So that has been pretty awesome too. So,
That is awesome.
I will say one thing super quick is I know I'm the youth of the year, but I definitely think Ashely like deserves a shout out, because I honestly didn't realize till recently how much she does. Because I feel like a lot of people just look at her and it's like, oh, she does the YOY stuff. She just deals with 2 kids or however many. But it's like it doesn't just stop once your youth of the year term ends. Like, she still works with Holden. She still reaches out to past YOYs and makes sure that we're doing okay. And if I know if I were to text her 5 years from now, hey, I really want to do this. Do you think that you could do it with me? I know that she's going to jump on it. But she also does, like she says, program manager. She still is resilient with, everything that she can be. And she'll probably be up if I were to text her at 12 and, hey, I need your help. I know that she'd help me if I needed it. So it's just like she does so much with the club and with YOY and with BGCA and everything. It's just inspiring in a way. And also there was a solid 2 months where I was just in a rut. I was just not happy. It was a mental health low, and I knew that she still supported me. And whenever I finally bounced back, she was like, okay, you're ready. We're doing this. And then I won Southwest. So it's just...
That's awesome.
She deserves that. She's just absolutely so amazing.
Agreed.
So.
Oh, and that's something that we really wanted to highlight in the 2024 story that we did with you guys was your relationship and highlight you a little more, actually, all of the work that you do, the program and the kids that come through. And so we were really excited. I think, Justin, you said that at the beginning, we were excited to get to bring that out in the story a little bit with the two of you.
I really appreciate the kind words. But it's really them that inspire me to do what I do as well. So I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in if it weren't for youth like Kaleigh and all the other ones I've worked with. And they are what keep me going and do what I do at my job and want me to do more, do better for our community, get more involved as well. So I really just hats off to them. It's just I'm just there with them, for them, guiding them, cheerleader, anything. But I'm just happy to be a part of it, and I'm forever grateful for that.
I love that.
Well, I mean, it's fun for us because we get to kind of come in and we get little snapshots of where people are in their trajectory. And, just talking about Holden, that was 2022.
Yes.
He was 13, is that right? 14?
He had just turned 14.
14. So, I mean, one of the younger ones that we've ever worked with. I mean, and it's crazy because now I see him, he's grown like 2 feet. What's it like for you, Ashely, to see these amazing kids that just keep getting more amazing, and you're the youth of the year, and when you're 14 years old, I know he's aiming to be youth of the year later when it makes sense for him again. Like, I know there's strategy behind those things, but there's also it's crazy to see he already had such a strong platform when he was just 14. What's it like seeing people like Kaleigh, seeing people like Holden, some of the other fantastic ones we feature over the years continue to grow and watch that evolution of their character and personality develop?
You're just really proud of them. They could easily just, after Youth of the Year, be done. Be like, I won the money, let's go, I'm done. That doesn't stop for them, though. I mean, even to Holden today, whenever he was with us this morning for a check presentation, he said, hey, can we meet later this week? I really want to get my food insecurity project on a larger scale. And so he's thinking about how he can make an impact that he already has in the community, but how can he expand that to other Boys and Girls Clubs around the country? And so we're working through that process right now. And so if they have a dream and they have a goal of something, that I'm going to try to do my best to help make that happen. And if I can't do it personally myself, I'll find other people that can jump on board, and anybody is willing to do that. I mean, if you don't want to help them out, I think you're kind of losing out on a part of yourself. And I think that, they have these goals to do things that are bigger than themselves, and I'm here for it. And I want to do anything to make that possible for them and let them know that not only do they have me, but I have connections with other individuals that would jump on board for that very quickly. And, they are the future of this world. So we need to invest any amount of time that we can. And I think that's one of the things that I always reflect on too is time is really nothing. You don't have to give money for time. You don't have to you just give your own time. And I think that's more important and valuable is giving your time to somebody than anything else that anybody can give you. So even if it's just a quick phone call or meeting up for a meeting, that time is precious, and we never know when that time can slip away from us either. So those are the things I try to think about and strive for as we're trying to help them succeed in their future, whatever that may, and their dreams. So
yeah, no, that's
love that.
Well, so speaking of that, if someone's listening to this podcast and they've never done anything with the Boys and Girls Club, but this is kind of resonating with them, how does someone get involved? How do they start to make a difference?
Hit me up, Ashely Skaggs. No, I'm just kidding. We do have a lot of resources. We do have a volunteer coordinator. We can get them connected with that individual. They can go as far as like mentoring. They can come hang out in the clubs and play dodgeball. Those kids eat that up. They can do, the volunteer opportunities are endless. So whatever they are passionate about as well. So if they have a program or a curriculum, or even coming and speaking to our kids, giving them advice, letting them know what they do as a job and how they got there, that could inspire some of our youth to really go that path and that route. So really there's a lot of opportunity. It can be, even if they don't want to work directly with the kids, we always have opportunities for us to spruce up a garden, trim, clean up our club's maintenance and things of that nature if they don't want to work directly, but they're still making an impact because it still affects our kids. We want our buildings to be clean. We want them to be safe. And so if they don't want to work directly with kids, there's that opportunity as well. So awesome. Whatever they're passionate about, or if they just want to get more involved, we have plenty of ways to plug them into work directly with kids or not directly with the kids. So
wonderful.
Yeah, lots of opportunities. So Kaleigh, you're fresh off the regional win.
Yes.
When is nationals? What are you guys doing to prepare?
So nationals, we don't have the exact dates yet, but it's in September. I'm assuming probably later September, and it's going to be in Atlanta. And right now I know I would just want to spruce up my speech and just probably do more mock interviews, and just do everything that I possibly can to prepare. I definitely also want to start giving back to the club more often, and just being there as much as I can, with the time that I can. Obviously, I'm an hour and a half away, but I could always text Ashely, hey, I'm going to come Wednesday. Let's go do something with the kids. Let's go, plan whatever. So that's definitely just what I'm focused on right now, just getting myself ready, and just bringing my all, but also staying humble and prepared for whatever. So,
awesome. Well, we're rooting for you.
Thank you.
If you want to read more about Kaleigh's story and Kaleigh and Ashely and all of the work that you guys have done, you can find those back issues on our website on celebratearkansas.com. Those are our April issues, and you can read all of the back issues of all of the past winners, but specifically with Kaleigh, we've got those issues up on our website, the last 2 April issues, and we're just so proud of you. We're so proud to have been just a little tiny footnote in your story of helping to celebrate you guys and lift you up, and love this partnership, love getting to support the club and support some of its amazing young people. So thank you guys so much for joining us and for letting us be part of telling your story.
Yeah, it's an honor, honestly, because this gives an opportunity to just really highlight what our youth do, but also talk about Boys and Girls Club as well. As we mentioned before, maybe that they don't know exactly what we do at the Boys and Girls Club. So really an honor to let our voices be heard as well. It's just something that we preach with our youth as well. So
yeah,
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
So congratulations to Kaleigh. We'll be rooting for you at nationals, and we've loved getting to catch up with you guys again, and look forward to the next time.
Yes, we should.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
You.